What's up guys, Blade Master here. Welcome to yet another faction focused video. This one is going to be focused on Arevaci. Now there are around 3 or 4 different units that I want to focus on in the Arevaci roster. And before that, let me just go ahead and talk about the general flavor of this faction, the Blade Balance mod. In what I think is a move that kind of infuriates players who are more used to Arevaci in vanilla. It's not I don't think it can be played similar to other barbarian factions, despite it looking pretty much the same. But there are a few key differences which separate the Iberian tribes from the barbarian tribes, and I think Arevaci is one of the most that capitalizes from these differences, which is why you have to change the look of your army very much from your melee infantry heavy traditional barbarian builds. In more specifically, you want to go very heavy on the skirmishers and very heavy on the cavalry with Arevaci. I think Arevaci, the biggest problem with them is that they don't have great mid-tier infantry, and of course mid-tier sword infantry is the bread and butter of any barbarian army, at least strong barbarian army. Neither do they have like excellent spears. Their Skutari spearmen are decent, and they cost a fair bit. Their Iberian spearmen are very nice, 200 talent spearmen who do have precursor javelins, which is awesome. But they're definitely not going to win a fight for you. The units that would win a fight for you are probably their extremely strong elite tier infantry and the noble fighters, very capable units. But obviously they're so expensive at 1380 talents that you can't really bring more than 1 or 2 of them. But sometimes I wouldn't even want to bring one of these guys, the noble fighters, and that's because I think the true strength of Arevaci lies in this, like I mentioned, the cavalry and skirmisher, combo. This is not going to be a fight against the AI, by the way. I'm going to show you a proper fight, an online battle that I fought against Gedai, against European Lion. Gedai is almost 100% one of the strongest factions in Blade Balance, extreme versatility. But what Arevaci does have is very good skirmishes. You can see I brought a total of 3 Balearic slingers here and 1 Iberian slinger just to make up numbers. And I'm going to try and focus fire on their Dacian heavy bowmen. He's brought 2 Dacian bow horsemen who've moved behind. Now the thing is, the biggest change to the Balearic slingers for Lusitania and Arevaci is that these native Balearic slingers have a 30% missile block chance shield, which greatly improves their capability against enemy skirmishers. And these slingers are so deadly because they have great reload rates, great ammo, so they can very safely destroy the skirmisher contingent of any pike heavy, or in this case barbarian sword heavy skirmish line, and then have enough ammo to take down enemy melee targets or anything else. Now you can see he's trying to European line is being quite a bit cheeky with this bow horseman and bringing them to the rear of my line. But the bow horsemen are pretty shit units in terms of melee. So meanwhile, let's focus over here. I'm going to charge in with my Iberian cavalry and my Skutari cavalry into his mercenary axe warriors, pull through with one of my Skutari cavalry after they knock them down, and catch some of the Dacian heavy bowmen. Meanwhile, these bow horsemen are getting slaughtered while they try to take down my Balearic slingers. Now, the Iberian cavalry is another unit that's changed quite a bit. The principal thing being that they have a 10 bonus versus infantry, and now they also cost 450 rather than 500, because I wasn't finding a role for these guys. They were just far too expensive. Even at 450, I think they should be a very specialized type of unit, because they are just not. They die instantly. That lack of melee defense and armor and pretty low health is just a massive killer for them. So they do die very quickly, as you can see here. They got a frontal charge against mercenary axe warriors, and basically they just died from all the precursor fire. And now, the other big change is these guys, the Skutari cavalry. Like many of you probably know, they fire javelins now, which if I put it in slow motion, hopefully I'll be able to show you guys. One javelin volley can do a fair bit of damage against these noble swords that won't do much, but they're very good at taking down enemy cavalry, because one javelin volley from them will kill off 5 to 6 cavalry units off the charge. And this noble cavalry is another change in the Arevaci roster. They now, instead of 1280, they cost 1200. So big price reduction for these guys, and they're very good. I mean, they've got excellent melee attack, excellent weapon damage, 15 bonus versus large. One of the few noble barbarian melee cavalry that have a 15 bonus versus large, and excellent armor and health stats to boot. So they're just very solid units, especially at 1200. But what makes this combo of archers and skirmishers really deadly is the support units, to be quite honest with you. And these guys, the painted warriors, I think are an excellent support unit for this role. Putting them on the flanks not only ensures that they won't get destroyed by enemy. There they go firing at my Celtiberian cavalry. Sorry, these are not Scutari, they're Celtiberians. But it not only makes them, less susceptible to missile attacks because they'd be focused on your slingers, the enemy skirmishers would be focused on your slingers in the center. But these guys can rampage down the flanks, especially with Frenzy. Their charge bonus goes up to 52, so they can actually kill off enemy infantry very quickly on the charge if they get a proper charge. Of course, it is going to be quite a gamble, as you can see here. They didn't get a good charge because they were bogged down by the enemy cavalry, but the spear horseman just gets slaughtered there. Now, meanwhile, the bow horseman hasn't done much. It's just bogging down my Balearic slingers. But I'm pulling back with my noble cavalry over here. They've taken a lot of damage here because I haven't been microing very well. But my noble fighters have destroyed the enemy spear horsemen, and painted warriors here have only gotten 27 kills against noble swords. Now his noble horsemen have already got a single XP chevron, but they're really going to rack up the kills. Somehow all this fire is not affecting them that much. It's killing more of my Balearic slingers and my Celtiberians, but the noble horsemen have very low missile block chance, and low armor as well, so they should be pretty susceptible to it. Getting just a slight bit lucky, and I'm getting just a slight bit salty. The Balearic slingers here firing into them, but now they're going to pop trample and then slaughter the Balearic slingers. So that is the big problem. That's why you want to bring a lot of cavalry. You want to have enough cavalry so that some of them can support your slingers in case there's a pesky cavalry charge like this. Unfortunately, I went a bit too ballsy with with all my cavalry. I should have just used the Iberian cav to frontal charge like that, and that honestly wasn't even that successful. The noble cavalry get a good charge on the falsemen, but the falsemen are just so good. As long as they charge in, they get good kills on enemy cavalry. So noble horse just dying very, very quickly there. The Scutari cavalry, the Scutari infantry are probably one of the low points of the Arevaci, and that's that's nothing bad. These guys are very, very good. It's just that they are not reliable enough to be a good mid-tier infantry because they just cost a slight bit less at 620, and that makes all the difference because they don't have shield wall, and they have only 55 health versus a 60 health for most other mid-tier infantry who cost around 700 to 750 talent. So that 100 to 150 talent price difference really does make a massive difference in just general approach to a barbarian meta that you'd want to bring with Arevaci, but one that I wouldn't really recommend. The noble horsemen now going to rear charge this Iberian slinger, which hasn't done much. My Balearic slingers here at 65 men still firing. They've got quick reload on. Again, another reason why they're such deadly skirmishes, and another reason why you shouldn't be afraid to spend all that money investing in them. This noble cavalry here is taking quite some damage from the Dacian heavy bowmen. So now they're going to go ahead and countercharge these guys. They've lost quite a few units from chasing noble horsemen, and but now they should be able to destroy the rest of these Dacian heavy bows. The mercenary axe warriors are coming in close support. My noble fighters, though, general is destroying everyone. 98 kills with them. They've only lost 30 men and about to get double XP chevron, destroying those noble swords in the rear. And that's purely because earlier I had a Celtiberian cab that managed to rear charge this noble swords, dealing some important HP damage and then holding it down as my noble fighter killed off the enemy cavalry and then just rear charge, took their sweet time and rear charge. They do have shield wall now, which makes a huge difference, and they are one of the best barbarian elite swords. But yeah, you can see how that's a kind of frustrating, very weird flavor for these guys, because you have excellent elite infantry, but you have poor no, let's not say poor, you have average to slightly above average mid-tier barbarian infantry. So you can't end up bringing a good 8 to 9 melee infantry with them. It's just not possible. It's possible, but it's not an optimized Arevaci army. That's why you should bring a more more maneuverable and skirmish heavy mix with with Balearic slingers and with noble cav and Celtiberians, in my opinion. Again, against Gedai, there's not too much that you can do. I don't consider Arevaci to be a good counter to Gedai. I would honestly pick something like a strong. Maybe even a Boya, but probably Boya could be good because their mid-tier infantry can just rush through and they can chew through these cheap Falksmen and mercenary axe warriors. The Dacian heavy bowmen will be good, but it's not going to be too hard for you to just use your vanilla boy barbarian rush, close down the gaps, and then kill them off that way. It's not going to be too hard, especially if you bring heavy horse, since heavy horse will kill off enemy spear horsemen. And the noble horse, they did really well in this game. 408 kills with this noble horse right here. But I wouldn't count on them being the difference makers, especially against boy, I think. So wow, I just I just spat that knowledge, man. I've been talking way too much. These Falksmen over here, let's get back to the battle. Stray Falksmen here getting shot by Balearic Slingers. Slingers have got 93 kills here, this Balearic Slinger 59, and this Balearic Slinger about to get that single XP chevron. So even though they cost a fair bit, for 530 talents, you almost definitely will get your money's worth, especially if you bring a lot of cavalry to back them up and make sure that you win the cavalry engagements. I didn't really win the cavalry engagements here. That's what happened, because I went too ballsy with the noble cavalry, and you could see that didn't really do much in this game. The painted warriors as well, I would heartily recommend them every day of the week, but it is always a risk when you bring them. They are 640 talents, slightly more expensive than the Scutari, and a lot more of their value depends on the charge. But if you can get a good charge with them with frenzy, then you can slaughter infantry that are way more expensive. So this Balearic Slinger also kills off the noble horse. I made a point to just kill them off. Try to at least kill them off. There's just no way I'm going to be able to win this game. Noble fighters here with 123 men and fresh will be able to destroy a lot of these units though. Might even be a bit deceiving, but because these are axe warriors who have 55 morale, and but the thing is, the enemy noble swords general has 100 men, so there's no way I'd be able to stop them. And the Dacian heavy bowmen, unfortunately, they had enough ammo that they could dispatch the rest of my my Balearic slingers. So they, at the end of the day, weren't able to do too much. 3 and 7 men for these noble horsemen still remain though. And here, my last Balearic Slinger going to get 100 kills. It's just aiming at the enemy noble sword. Somehow these Dacian heavy bowmen still have ammo left, and they've been a real pain in the ass, gotta say. So I'm going to end this faction focus here. I'm going to stop talking about this faction now, and just end it with some, with some nice, what's it called? Cinematic cam with the noble fighters. Trust me, they get a shit ton of kills. I was really surprised now. They're going to get a charge onto the enemy noble swords, this looks like. Yeah, this is definitely the noble swords. But they get a proper charge. And if you allow the noble swords to get a proper charge, look at that, 38 charge bonus versus 36 for the noble swords. I'm popping everything. They've got headhunt, they've got shield wall, and they've got battle rhythm as well. They're dropping quickly, but look at that, 245 kills for these guys so far, 252, and it's only going up. And they have just serious melee attack. That's their biggest calling card. Great weapon damage as well, but honestly no, not great weapon damage. Their Falcata doesn't actually have very good AP, I believe. But now with Headhunt, everything is just going well for them. So European line made a tiny mistake just piling on all of the troops, which allowed me to get way more kills, almost a triple XP chevron with these guys. Almost got 300 kills with that noble fighters at the end. But yeah. He did manage to win. Well played to European line. He did really well with his low tier infantry here. The Foxmen, someone posted a comment on the Blade Balance Buddies. No, not Blade Balance Buddies. Blade Balance Buddies faction discussion thread about Gedai, and said that Foxmen need frenzy or something. And I couldn't disagree more. They would be literally the most fearsome OP unit in the game if they did that, or if I did that. They actually do have, someone commented that they don't, but these guys actually have a 30 bonus versus enemy cavalry, which is why you saw that Fox, or 25 or 30 bonus versus cavalry. That's why you saw that Foxmen just slaughter one of these noble cavalries and just, decimate them, even though I got a proper charge. As long as they get a counter charge, these guys will do a lot of damage. Mercenary Axe Warriors as well did well. One of the noble swords didn't do much at all. I think that was the one that was faced up against my noble fighter general. The other one, the general, for European line did pretty decently. Dacian heavy bows, 2 of them didn't do much, but the other 2 did pretty okay. But as you can see, my Balearic Slinger is really excelling in this battle. Even though they got charged midway through noble horsemen, still managed to get back in there and get some more kills. Celtiberians, I didn't use them properly in this game. You can see there only 1, 2, 3, 4 cavalry with for European line. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so I definitely had a cavalry advantage. And against enemy noble horse, I definitely had a good advantage because noble horse a bit too expensive, and my Celtiberians have a 15 bonus versus large. good javelins to just smash through the noble horseman's poor armor. Really should have been able to make use of these Celtiberians more effectively than I did there. But yeah, fun game, and hope you guys enjoyed this faction focus on Arevaci. Let me know if you want to see more of this. The views on the last few faction focuses was a bit lower, which I guess some of you don't really like it, which is why I didn't decide to keep making them. But maybe as a change from the usual online battles, this is good. Let me know what you guys think. Stay tuned for more. Peace.